Hello and welcome to the dressing room here at Adams Park. It's access all areas in Sky Bet League One as the Wycombe players get changed behind me. Today's opponents, Portsmouth, made a fantastic start to the season, but a run of just one win from their last 9 league games has seen their playoff push stall. So can they get back on track with a result today? Wycombe, meanwhile, of course, reached the playoff final last season, and the man in the driving seat for the Chairboys arrived earlier on today with our reporter Davy Craig in style.
Wild thing, I think I love you, but I wanna know for sure. Come on, hold me tight. I love you.
Wow, Gareth, thanks for the lift in. Now,
A bit different.
it is a bit different, and as you can tell, I'm wearing something a little bit different today. We know that you are very rock and roll. How do you think I'll match up?
You know what? I think Lemmy from Motorhead would be he'd be impressed. He'd be turning in his
Do you like the
great
boots?
accent at the moment.
Boots?
No, you've made a great effort, a real
jacket?
valiant effort. The jacket's cool, you know.
The jacket's
You know
cool.
what? I was going to maybe ask for that on the touchline, but I'll stick to my, I'll stick to my own.
Trust me, you can have it. You can have it. On a serious note, we've had a lovely trip in. You're known for this rock star image, but what sort of, superstitions do you have driving in?
Not many superstitions, you know. The music's blasting. The music's a massive
It
part
is.
of
I'm
my
still
life,
deaf.
you know?
I'm still deaf.
So that's a big part of my life. It just gets me up. I think it can affect you in any mood, anywhere you are. It gets you up, and that's me, you know. And we've always said at Wycombe, you can be you can be who you are, and I think that me being who I am enables the boys to go, you know what, this is true. You can be who you are, and whatever you are, whatever you bring to the scene, whatever piece of jigsaw you are, is important, and I think that's important, and I'll always stay true to myself. It may have cost me a few interviews or a few jobs over the years, but I am who I am, and that's part of me and part of what I do.
At Sky Sports EFL today, we've sort of christened this Rock and Roll Football Day because we've got access all areas, you're letting cameras in the dressing rooms. How do you like all the new approach?
Yeah, do you know what? I think with myself and Danny, you've got 2 managers here who know where football's going. You look at the American, we've got American owners, obviously. The World Cup has given a little bit of an insight into getting behind the scenes, and I think it's high time that clubs allowed it. I think there's a limit. There's got to be some lines, definitely. But I think people want to see more now. You see them all on the screens. I got kids at home who are all on the screens going, can we get more content? I think it's great, as long as there's a line and as long as there's a respect between the two. Let's see what happens today.
Let's see what happens. And can I just say, David Prutton, thank you for lending me all the gear. It'll be in your dressing room as soon as this is over. Let's go. Let's go.
Well, it's going to be a great day when it starts with Davy Craig in a burgundy leather tunic in a club car park. That club, of course, is Wycombe. The stadium is Adams Park. And we're all over Adams Park today, beginning right here in the hospitality. The toasty comfort, I've got to say, of the hospitality suite, along with Sam Saunders and Curtis Davies. So much going on for you today between now and kick-off, which is at 12:30. Gents, welcome. This is plush. This is nice and relaxed. We're ready to go. Sam, just give us a little inkling to what we've just seen there with Gareth Ainsworth. He's a one-off, isn't he?
That is him, in a nutshell. He's as honest as the day is long. He says he wants players to be themselves, and that's true. His teams are a reflection of him, how he was as a player, how he is. Interesting there that he said about it's probably cost him some jobs along the way because he's so honest, and that's him. And maybe owners don't like that, but what doesn't lie is he knows how to win football games, and his record since he's been at Wycombe, and was it 550 games in management with me today?
Ridiculous.
Shows that he obviously knows what he's doing.
Okay, gents, green one for me.
There you go.
Thank you, thank you. Excellent. So, Clark, Alfie, Scott, I'll talk to you for 90 minutes. Loads of information we can bounce back and forth with each other. You know your players better than me, so if you can help me with part of that and management of your players, that's perfect and helps me out a lot. I won't drag you from distance necessarily, we'll work it properly so it's right in that sense. For yourself, gents, Alan is your 4th official today. He's got that great 4th view that you guys have, and I would very much appreciate it if you can leave him to have that great 4th view as much as possible. I do appreciate there is going to be times where you'll want that bit of an explanation as to why something's been given a certain way and how it's been given. feel free to ask him that, but just make sure it's sharp, snappy, and let him do his duties. But that's on the major stuff, you know. It's not just every single decision to come on to him. Let him do his job, basically, and give him that good fourth view so we can feed in that information to him, and that's perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we taking the knee today?
No, we're not.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll make that allowance for it.
We'll
Yeah, so we'll have that allowance for it, and then you guys can orchestrate that how you like.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can we go to do watches?
Yeah, watch is fine. I'm on when it wants to light up. 19.
Perfect.
All right.
Brilliant. Great.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Perfect.
All the best, and we'll see you afterwards.
All smiles ahead of kick-off between management and officials. Let's see how long that lasts. The teams that were written down on those sheets. 2 changes for Wycombe as in come Lewis Wing and Brendan Hanlon. Out go Freeman and Vokes. As for Pompey, back to it in the league, and this is the team that they've picked for this one. There's 2 changes also for them from the last league game, as back come Ronnie Curtis and Michael Morrison. Of course, there's so much preparation that goes into a match day for the clubs, for the players, but also for the referees. Our co-commentator Don Goodman spent some time this week with today's match official Scott Oldham to look at how he prepares for a game such as this.
Scott, thanks for your time today, mate. So far today, you've got to work at 8:30, I believe, and done a full day's work. What do you do? What have you been up to?
Kitchen and bathroom fitter, and today has been tiling a bathroom. So very different to refereeing a football match.
I know that you've got a family at home.
Yeah.
When you're not a full-time referee, how do you balance that? Is that difficult to balance everything because there's so much that has to go into it?
Yeah, it is. I think because football takes up so much of your time, you really do need a support network behind you. My wife is an absolute diamond for that. She's one of a kind, and I think
she's going to love you for that. Talk to us about the physical side of it. How hard do you have to work? What kind of things do you have to do?
As we alluded to earlier, I've got a physical job, so it would be very easy to finish at 5 o'clock, just have a big sigh as you get back in the work van and just drive straight home. Yeah. But that's not going to get me performing to the level that I need to be for the decisions that we need to make on a day.
So in terms of your individual preparation for a game, any game, not just Wycombe Portsmouth, do you have to look at the players, how they play? Do you have to look at the set-piece scenarios? There's lots of blocking and holding and stuff like that. Do you make yourself aware of all that?
Yeah, we will, on the lead-up to a game, certainly start to look at little bits and pieces. Nothing too specific and dialed into in a direct focus. It's more just a general understanding as to how the teams will play, how they'll potentially set up, because that can affect my positioning. I don't want to be getting in the way of set-piece organisation, certainly corner kicks, which way is the corner kick going to be taken generally, again, so that positionally we can be out of the way, but then also, I say from a blocking perspective, is there going to be targeted players? Is there going to be people that we're going to have to be aware of? And I think if we just understand generally how the teams are likely to approach the game, then it puts us on the front foot as match officials to be able to, one, stay out of the way from a positional sense, but also be able to get into really good positions to identify things that might go on during the game.
I know you've had some clips off your coach.
Yes.
Shall we have a look at them and you can tell us how you utilise these clips?
And this is a movement one. We can often get caught up ball watching as match officials, and I think it's always important to be on the front foot because you can gain yourself 5 or 10 metres just by being on that front foot. And then again, knowing your players at the left wing is likely to attack the penalty area. Yeah. So don't go central, it's going wide and kind of scooping round so that you do get that angle, because you can be easily gone through. So you're going to be up with play. Everybody looks from a spectator point of view that you're up with play, but you've actually got no angle to see anything. So it's always being clever with your movement.
That is a brilliant clip to show what goes into finding an angle, actually, the movement that you've done there.
Not straight lines.
Not straight lines, no. This is the bit me. I like this bit of your movement where you now need to get in a position and you have to sprint, don't you, to get across
absolutely.
there?
Yeah, it's full-on sprint where they were doing. Yeah.
Excellent. I'll tell you what, mate. There's not enough tea in China for me to have been a referee, so I commend you.
Appreciate that, Don.
We're taking you all over Adams Park today ahead of Wycombe against Portsmouth. This is Gareth Ainsworth addressing the Chairboys in the home dressing room ahead of kick-off. And this is the team that has gone with today. 2 changes for them. I'll go Freeman and Vokes. In come Lewis Wing and Brendan Hanlon. Visitors are Pompey, of course. Back-to-back wins in the Cup. Their boss, Danny Cowley, addressing his troops ahead of kick-off, which comes up at 12:30. It's 2 changes for them as well from their last league game. as back come Ronan Curtis and Michael Morrison. Yeah, Adams Park here today. Sky Bet League One action coming to you. Wycombe taking on Portsmouth. Very much a unique game today with access all areas. We've been everywhere. We've been in the dressing room, we've been in hospitality, we've been pitch side, and now we find ourselves right on the pitch with Sam Saunders, Curtis Davies, and the boss, Gareth Ainsworth. Gareth, really good to see you. Thank you so much for the hospitality, both literally over there and accommodating us all over the pitch so far. Your team is being put through its paces before the game. At this stage of the warm-up, of the build-up, what are they up to?
Yeah, so they've done their initial stretches, getting through like a little bit of a warm-up. Now it's into the football now, and it's these moments in the game, you know, when transition, ball changes hands, how can you settle it quickly, which is it's vital in the modern game. You know, you see on the TV all the time, if you give it away again, you're under pressure. So this session's a little bit about when the ball changes hands, who's the best at settling it down and keeping possession of that ball, which will happen in the game quite often today. What
do you take from the tempo, from the quality, from what you see in the warm-up? Does that reflect what you might see in the game?
I'd say that, that's these two, you know. I've had some of the worst warm-ups of my life and then played the best games, you know. So I'll come in, I'll ask Dobbo, what were they like? And he'll say, good. And it doesn't really matter, honestly. It doesn't have any bearing. I think it's that moment, you know, getting yourself up. And then it's my job then to scan the dressing room and go, right, does anyone look a bit nervous? Does anyone look like they need a word? And that's part of the manager's job, you know, the judging body language, judging people, and then hopefully getting them when not 3 o'clock, 12:30 today, when that comes. Thanks for that, getting up early. But when 12:30 comes, bang, they're on it, and they've got to be on it from second one against this team, because this is going to be a tough game.
Gaz, talk about the warm-up, and in a warm-up you normally have, like to say, the leaders in the dressing room that get the players going. It's been well documented that obviously you lost Bayo, Matt Bloomfield, Stocky, Andy Stewart. So is it an extra emphasis now on the warm-up and the other characters in the dressing room now?
So I mean, you played your sons with those players, you know how vital they were, you know, and as you say, characters, you can't replace characters, you know, you can't buy those things. So Jack Grimmers, Alfie Mawson's now, you know, Joe Jacobson suspended today, which again is one of my leaders. So, and then we have to give it from the sidelines, you know, we have to, and it's tough, it is tough, you know, people don't realise how important Stockdale was, how important Bayo was, because they're not just good players, they're actual comfort for everyone when they're on the pitch. It's like security. Yes, our guys are here, they're here for us, and they're hard to replace, they really are. So we're going through that transitional period. So we had a few injuries at the start of the season, but I'm hoping. Wow, I nearly got took out there. Hoping. He's put on my back, he's like that. So he's playing. If it were one of the subs, I might have been taken out then, I tell you. But no, you know, these characters are really vital for teams, and hopefully we can get some shining through.
And how important is it to manage expectation? Because obviously having lost those players, not just as players, but as leaders, but being a team that's come from League Two to the Championship, and now you're back in League One, having missed out last year.
Yeah.
How important is it to manage expectation that it's not going to be necessarily winning every week?
It's tough, Kurt. You know, last 3 seasons have been playoff final, Championship, playoff final. That's our last 3 seasons at Wycombe, and it's now expected that we should be up and around it. And honestly, we should, yeah, of course. We've got American backers who've given me a little bit extra than this club has ever had before, but we're nowhere near the budgets of the Ipswiches and the Sheffield Wednesdays and the teams right up there. You know, I want to say Derby's, but he's here and there. But I know these are big clubs. I think, is it 6 out of the top 8 of being in the Premier League?
Correct.
You know, and you know, hanging on in there. If we can stay around it and, you know, single-figure points off it. I think we were 7 points off with 10 games to go last season, and we still made the playoffs. I think we're 5 points off now with 27 games to go. We can still make these playoffs. Be a tall order. Games like today will be important, and I want my boys to be on it.
10 years into this job, what keeps you going every single day?
You know, I'm a lucky guy, honestly. I'm a really lucky guy with all the mental health issues and all the things that society brings up and spews up at the moment, the cost of living, all that. I wake up every day, I want to energise people. I really do. I want to go, come on, boys, you can be better than you think you can be, and where's your potential? Get there and beat it, and I love doing that to people, you know, I really do, and one day they'll miss me, but I'm happy to be at the moment. I'm loving it.
Guys, it's a wonderful achievement so far. Thank you once again for joining us on this very unique day. Gareth Ainsworth there, the Wycombe boss. We haven't been to the boardroom yet, have we? That's where we'll find David Craig with the Sky Sports legend.
Well, as we've been telling you all morning, the EFL have given us access all areas at Wycombe versus Portsmouth today. And we're in the boardroom today where they're all set up for Christmas. And I'm delighted to say that my Sky colleague and former Wycombe board member, Alan Parry, looks very festive sat here.
Yeah, apart from the decorations, this is my normal seat. They won't let me watch the game, normally.
Now, I take it you won't be watching the game from here?
No, I'll be in the stand.
Now, I know where we are going. We're going to another lovely comfortable
We are.
seat over here. We're going to your lovely table here in the boardroom. I take it this is where you always meet pre-game, is it, with the fellow directors from the opposition?
Yes, there's a lot of hot air talked in this particular room. We're all amateur coaches in here. What's that great saying they say? Why is it that all the best football managers are busy doing other jobs? So we all think we're experts in here. Myself, guilty as charged as well. But I prefer to leave it to Gareth Ainsworth. He's had 600 games as a player, 10 years as a successful manager. I think he probably knows more than the combined fountain of knowledge in this entire room.
Now, Alan, as we've been saying, we've got access to all areas today. We've seen cameras in the dressing room. We're talking to the managers during the game, players joining us in commentary. How good is this for the EFL and for fans at home?
I think it's brilliant. Sky have pushed the barriers, haven't they, ever since they came on air all those years ago. They've brought in innovations that have worked, some maybe haven't. I think this is a wonderful opportunity to show the average viewer and the average football supporter what really goes on behind the scenes. Because let's face it, most people turn up at the ground, they stand behind the goal, sit in the stand, whatever it is, and that's as far as it goes. A peek into the dressing rooms, a peek into the areas like this. Why not? I think that's the future.
And of course, as I said, you've been a member of the Wycombe board before. You're now still very much part of the club, a huge fan as well. Just in a quick word, what can Wycombe expect this season?
Well, we're not far off the playoffs, and in the last 8 games we've won 14 points, although there's a perception that we're out of form at the moment because we're in the middle of the table. I think we'll give it a good go as well. And remember this, there are 8 clubs in this division. That's 1/3 of the division who have played at the highest level, including many in the Premier League era. So for a small club like this, to be in that kind of company is a wonderful achievement.
Alan, enjoy the afternoon. And David Prutton, you carry on, do the show. I'm going to stay here with the Wycombe directors and enjoy a nice bit of lunch. See you later, chap.
Can't believe he's got rid of the leather tunic. We're going to get more from these two boys pitchside here ahead of this game between Wycombe and Portsmouth. The next portion of this show will be all about the key players and the key battles that could make or break this game for the two sides. That comes up next. Kick-off then, just moments away right here at Adams Park. But our reporter David Craig is with a group of Wycombe fans who might just about have the best seat in the house.
David, I've got to tell you, there's some great initiatives going on today, but this has got to be the best. Watching football from a bed with an electric blanket. Simon Bacallion, how did you win this wonderful prize for your family?
OK, so Wycombe and Dreams put on a competition and asked for fans to contribute why they deserved to win this prize. And I put in that my girls and I don't get to come to football that much. I come, but they don't come that much. So it'd be great for us to have this opportunity.
Is this the way you're always going to watch football from now on? Because I certainly do.
Well, I hope it can be. Unfortunately, it's going to be unlikely. Up the top tier, it'll be a bit cooler, I think, than this is. But it would be good fun.
Well, listen, enjoy it. Your lovely family want to get in. Go on, girls, pile in. Pratt, here's a lollipop.
Is that a win? Is that something to win? A day in bed with David Craig? You can discuss that between yourselves as we get into this break. Kick-off is very, very close. The Wycombe Wanderers team and Gareth Ainsworth high-fiving, getting themselves pumped up for this visit of Portsmouth. Remember, a win for the away side takes them into the playoff places. Kick-off in this one at Adams Park, right here on Sky Sports Football, comes up after the break. Another part of our innovation today, we have a very special guest on commentary with Gary Weaver and Don Goodman. It's Wycombe captain and club legend Joe Jacobson, the man who scored the penalty that sent the Chairboys into the Championship for the very first time in their history. He's suspended today, so Wycombe's loss is definitely our gain right here on Sky Sports. Let's get over to Don Goodman. That's a mixture of both Joe and Don Goodman. And Gary Weaver, I've got your name right. Take it away, my friend.
I feel special. Thanks, David. Yeah, Joe Jacobson has written his legend in a Wycombe shirt. His reward is to stand alongside me and Don. What happened there, Joe? But how much are you looking forward to this and being up here with us today and watching this game?
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it from a kind of different angle, see the boys play. Really looking forward to it. We've had a little break, 2 weeks off, so the boys are really raring to go today.
We won't mention the melee at Forest Green. because that's where you got your retrospective ban. But what happened in that melee at Forest Green?
I'm never protecting Jack Rimmer ever again. It's his fault, got me into trouble, so I'm staying well away from now on.
There we go, a 3-game ban for Joe Jacobson. This is the second today. He's back soon. Don't worry about that. So that's the Portsmouth dressing room as they prepare backstage to leave their dressing room and head into battle here at Adams Park. It's a cold, crisp day. It's overcast, but it's a wonderful setting here. And the Portsmouth fans, as ever, have travelled in their numbers to support their team today. That is what they do. Wycombe, they can make this place a fortress. They're looking to try and do that again here. This is a place where the big boys in the past have feared to tread. And Joe, it's important that Wycombe try and create that atmosphere again, isn't it?
Yeah, we've spoken about it in-house, about how our form at home this season's not been as good as what it's been over the last couple of years. So the success we've had on the pitch during those seasons is based on having a great home performance, and you know, we want to make sure that we can turn this again into a fortress. No better time, like I said, we've had a 2-week gap now. Fans are here, the Portsmouth fans always create a great atmosphere, so hopefully our fans can join in and set that up for a great game.
Good first half so far for Wycombe and Gareth Ainsworth. Let's get his thoughts now with David Craig.
Gareth, not for the first time this season we've seen you take an early lead, but could you have had a bigger lead going in at half-time?
Yeah, we should do, you know, we should have a couple more goals. I think the lads have been sensational going forward. Just a little bit's gone against us, you know, the post just dividing us, and then Anis Mehmeti probably scored the hardest chance and missed the easy one, but he's been sensational, you know. I just said to the boys, you know, don't expect that again, because Portsmouth are going to come out. I've just heard Danny going mental in there, so I know they're going to be up for this second half. I've got to make sure that my boys are on it, solid. We know the jobs, we know what's coming. There could be changes in formation. I think the energy we've shown so far, the pressing has been fantastic, and that's forced Portsmouth into mistakes, which has allowed us to go and take our chances.
Have a good second half, enjoy.
Thanks, cheers.
Let's hear from Danny Cowley.
Danny, are you a lot happier with what you've seen in the second half?
Yeah, I think we played better second half. We were really disappointed with ourselves first half. We didn't win the fight. And when you come to Wycombe and play against Wycombe, you have to earn the right, and we didn't do that. And yeah, we were disappointed first half. Second half, it's been much more like us, and we've been on the front foot. And yeah, we look like the most likely now.
Thanks, Danny.
Pleasure.
So that's the view of Danny Cowley as Portsmouth look to try and rescue this game.
We certainly do appreciate the insight, of course, don't we, from both teams involved here today, welcoming us with open arms all over Adams Park, both in the dressing room, pitch side, on the pitch as well, leading up to kick-off ahead of the game here today. Frustration, disconsolation, not a happy man. We saw him addressing his troops earlier on, of course, in the dressing room. There's a general sense, you can really feel it coming out of these scenes from the dressing room, of a very, very disappointed Portsmouth manager, Curtis, isn't it?
It has to be. You know, we spoke before the game about the 1 in 9 tag in terms of 1 win in the last 9 league games. He turned around and said, we've won 5 in the last 9 games in all competitions. But they didn't look like a team that had won 5 in the last 9. You know, they came here. Don't get me wrong, Wycombe were very good, and Mehmeti would have run the game for anyone that day. But today they didn't have that cutting edge. It took to the 73rd minute to have a shot on target. After that, they had a one straight away. But then, in the same breath, Wycombe were going down the other end, creating chances, missing chances. So I think he can be disappointed, but I think it's one that he has to put aside. You know, he said the performance level has been good recently. I don't think that was a good performance today, but he'll put it aside and have to build on it, because they do still have 2 games in hand, and they're right there or thereabouts.
So it's a big win for Wycombe Wanderers here today at Adams Park. A big thank you from us here at Sky Sports for everybody's cooperation. We've had a wonderful day and thoroughly enjoyed it. We hope you have too. Goodbye.
Get access all areas in Sky Bet League One.
You know your players better than me, so if you can help me with part of that and the management of your players, that's perfect and helps me out a lot.
Watching football from a bed with an electric blanket.
We've been in the dressing room, we've been in hospitality, we've been pitch side, and now we find ourselves right on the pitch.
When 12:30 comes, bang, they're on it. I've just heard Danny going mental in there, so I know they're going to be up for this second half.